Hello, so what is the best MacBook Pro to buy in 2019? Stay tuned. Alrighty, so basically, as you know, in 2019, Apple came out with a couple different MacBook Pro models, and they got rid of the MacBook, which is the smallest one they used to have, so that's gone. They got rid of the older MacBook Air. Now they have the newer MacBook Air, and now they have basically a base model, kind of a mid model, and then the 15-inch model MacBook Pro. So what's the best one to get right now? I guess it really depends on what you're going to use it for. So let's go through it. I'm going to go through it very quickly and just kind of show you the pros and cons of each model. And then if you're looking at buying this might help you in the buying decisions. I know what you're going to say right away is you're not talking about any MacBook Pros, but I think I have to at least mention the MacBook Air. So the Air was replaced by the newest model. They just came out with another model in 2019 for the Air, and I think it's around $1,000. You can get it for $1,000, $1,099, somewhere in that range. It starts at, and I mean you can find some sales on it. I've seen some sales again at Micro Center for about $899 to $900 and somewhere in there for the newest model. 2019 model though only comes with a dual core, comes with 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of hard drive space. And the screen's only going to be 400 nits versus the other ones I'm going to talk about, which are a little bit brighter. So if you're looking at for a school machine or something like that, basically more or less the MacBook Air, it's very light. It's a little bit thinner. I mean, it's actually a little bit thicker in some parts, but it's thinner at the very, kind of levels out at the bottom. So if you're looking for a school laptop and you're not doing video editing and things like that, the Air is a good option. So let's just get that out of the side. I mean, it's something that you don't want to do if you're doing video editing. I do most of my stuff on an iMac. So anyway, so the first one basically that we want to talk about is the 2019 13-inch MacBook Pro. And that's basically going to be, I think it's around $1299 right now. Best Buy's actually got it on sale for $1199 right now. And they have the 256 gig model for $1299 right now. It's at Best Buy. Obviously this video is going to change and you're probably going to miss that, so don't go after me when you go check it and it's not there. But that's the base model right now. So it's $1199 for the base model with 128 gigs. And what the changes were for the 13-inch MacBook Pro, the base model, is it did go to a quad core now. So that's pretty impressive. So you're going to get that quad core instead of a dual core. It does have True Tone now on the screen. The screen is also going to be 500 nits versus the Air, which is only 400 nits. So it's going to be considerably brighter, at least to the eye, than it would be on the MacBook Air. So if you like a brighter screen, this is a little bit better model too. It also has the T2 chip security on it. And that's a big, kind of a big thing that they actually added to it, where you actually get the advantages of that security, the encrypted drive. It also keeps things like fingerprints and things like that secure, and we'll get into a whole video on that, but that's actually included in this model. So is Touch ID, and then finally the touch bar itself is actually included, so that you don't have to pay extra for that. So if you like this kind of a model, then that's actually, it's actually a really good deal at $1199 at Best Buy right now, and they'll price match just about anything. So obviously keep your eyes open for a good price there. The next model up is going to be, and I need my little cheat sheet here because I was looking at the 13-inch base model, but I wasn't looking at the one up because it's actually not a great deal. So the next one up is going to be $1799, and that's basically going to be, it's going to have, I think it starts at 256 gigs hard drive. So, obviously, the difference is not going to be as great because you have to pay for that, but obviously Best Buy, like I said, is running it for $1299 on the base model right now for $256. So it's still, what does that come out to? A $500 difference. Usually it's only $300 though. Keep that in mind when the price goes back. So really the main difference here is it's going to have a little bit better speakers, and they actually said that the speakers are actually considerably better, but even than the base model of MacBook Pro, the one that's basically the model up with the i7 is that $1799 is going to have a little bit better speakers. It's also going to have 4 ports instead of 2 ports, which is kind of a big one as well. So obviously for ports and things like that, I like to have a lot of ports on both sides, because if you're trying to plug something on one direction and you can't, sometimes, obviously I can't show you with this, but I mean, obviously, if you might have a plug on one side, you can't actually get to it. So plugs are a big thing, especially if you're doing video editing or plugging into an external monitor or something like that. So It does have this faster CPU, but that's really about it. I mean, basically, you know, it's going to be about a $300 to $400 difference when you add the hard drive difference in there, and all the pricing is basically normal. So you got to factor in a little bit faster CPU. Now, granted, they did some benchmarks on the CPUs, and I'll show you here in a second, but the benchmarks actually didn't come out much faster at all. So you're getting, even though you're getting the faster CPU and you're getting supposedly a little bit faster hard drive also, which I should say, it's a little bit faster on the SSD drive between the base model and the model up, the $1799 model. But on paper, it looks like a little bit of a difference, but they actually tested it, and the test comes out very, very close. So everyone's telling you not to go with the $1799. Definitely get the base model unless you have a specific reason for the ports and things like that. So just keep that in mind, that's one big thing. And then obviously if you're into music and things and you want the speakers, that's another thing. Oh, one thing too to mention is they actually updated the butterfly keyboards on both of these models. Basically, you know, the two ones here that are the base model and the $1799 model. So it doesn't have the same, I guess, the second tier butterfly. It's got the third tier butterfly. So this is where the decision comes in. Obviously, it's too early to tell what's going to happen with the butterfly keyboard and things like that. So we're going to have to see how accurate that is going forward. They think that they added some materials that might have fixed it, but you just never know. So just keep that in mind. I mean, and I'll go through this at the end, but these are some considerations you want to do if you're going to wait some things out here. All right, so finally then you have the 15-inch MacBook Pro, which actually, you know, they start at, and I'm going to put it up here in a second. I'm just kind of going off the top of my head, but you're probably in that $2,500 to $2,700 range. And you're definitely going to get a bigger screen, obviously. The PPI ratio is going to definitely be about the same. So I think it's, you know, the same exact as the lower models, just got a little bit bigger screen. So the resolution is going to be very similar. It's going to have obviously a little bit faster chip, and it's going to come, I believe, with 16 gigs of RAM and things like that. So obviously it's going to have a little bit bigger trackpad, and it's going to have the 4 ports and various things. So if you're a video editor and you do this for a living, you might consider that, you know, at that $2,500 to $2,700 range, you know. But if you're just kind of someone like me that does a little bit of video editing and kind of just wants something that's, you know, I can take with me on the road and things like that, you know, you definitely want to consider that $1,299 to actually $1,199 MacBook Pro base right now. But that's only 13 inches, so the screen real estate is going to be a little bit smaller. All right, so what do you get basically? Now again, the MacBook Air, we'll go through them really quickly, and then there's some new ones coming out possibly on the horizon. So keep with me here for a second. MacBook Air is going to be for more school people. If you want to just a dual core, it's not that powerful. But it has 12-hour batteries basically versus 10 hours for the rest of them. So a little bit better battery. Screen's a little bit dimmer, and I mean, really for basic work like just typing on a computer as far as papers and just going on the internet and things like that, should be perfectly fine. It's going to be a little bit lighter machine as well. The base model MacBook Pro they've actually gone up to 4-core. It's added the True Tone. It's added the T2 chip. Has the 500 nits of brightness. So that's actually what I recommend for everyone right now, is that $1,200 to $1,199 at Best Buy right now price point. Definitely look that one up. That's a great deal. $1,799 is basically if you can justify. I really say stay away from that right now. That there's really no reason to get that except if you need the ports. And then if you're a power user, you want to go up to the $2,700, $2,700 one. Obviously, look at that one. You know, when you need that. But right now, I'm talking more. You know, the base is probably the one to go with right now. Now, realistically, though, there's rumors that they're coming out with a 2019 16-inch MacBook Pro. A lot of people are kind of sitting here saying, well, should I get that MacBook Pro, or what should I do? Should I wait for it to come out? Well, realistically, the way I look at it, that's going to happen here is it's probably going to take. First of all, it's going to come out maybe the end of 2016, but I believe that's going to be around $32,000 to $4,000 starting price. So if you're looking at a $1,200 computer right now and you need one, you're not going to even be considering that one later. So that's really for the ultra professionals. It's going to have probably, rumor has it, at least a $3,200 plus and go up from there. So keep that in mind, and that's going to be something that you have to really consider because it may not be for you. It's going to have the new keys supposedly, which they're going to fix the butterfly. So the base model that just came out, you know, in June basically, or a couple weeks ago, I believe it was June or July, might have been July, but basically it just came out. So they're probably not going to refresh that until probably next year. And if they do that, you know, it's going to probably, I would guess, the end of the year maybe or something. So you may be waiting a really long time for that. And then, you know, obviously you have to you just don't know what Apple's going to do. So you can maybe buy this one if you need one now and then sell it, you know, if you needed it absolutely later. and you can usually get like in a year and a half, you probably get 70% of the price of the unit back anyway. So, so my guess though, or my choice is the base model. Right now you can get it for $11.99, which is incredible for what it comes with. And again, if you want to check out this, Best Buy's matching it for Micro Center. Again, it's July. It's the end of July right now in 2019, so this is not only going to be a short term, but they got these for $13.99, 27-inch, and that's a great deal. Again, I might add a SSD and things like that through an external drive, but for the price, you can't beat it. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please subscribe if you can. I'm trying to obviously get up to that magic 1,000 subscriber mark. It's going to take me a year and a half or so, but if you guys can help me out, I would love it. But